let's go make this super easy, beginner-friendly Christmas quilt. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. You just started sewing and you want to make your first quilt. I have the easiest one ever for you, okay? Super easy. My first beginner quilt with applique. I know, sounds intimidating. Promise it's not. I started with 2 layer cakes. So what's a layer cake? A layer cake is a stack of 10-inch squares. Now you can get these in a whole bunch of different sizes. We're using the 10-inch size today, so it's 10 by 10. I started with 1 pack and these fabulous templates from Missouri Star, and they have a whole bunch of different Christmas ones. These are the ones that I chose. So we have the stocking, the hat, and look, this one pops out of the middle, so you really have 2 sizes of stockings, 2 sizes of hats. And what I love about this is when it pops out of the middle and you're worried you're going to lose your little piece, guess what? You can give it away. Give it to your friend because you can just put it on there and trace on the inside. So you actually get 2 small templates. It's kind of genius. Then I have a light bulb, a mitten, and an ornament. And yes, I traced a whole bunch of mine without taking the back off because I've done it for years that way. I didn't know the back came off and y'all yelled at me, and I now know that it comes off, but you can trace it with the back on or off. Totally up to you because nobody is the boss of you. But if you didn't know, the back is there to protect your template from scratching and damage while it's in production and shipping, so you can have it for packaging purposes. Now, I took my templates and I laid them on top of my 10-inch squares. I drew a line around it and then I cut them out. I cut 1 whole pack out of Christmas shapes. Then I took a second pack of Christmas fabric, 10-inch squares. There's 42 in here, 42 10-inch by 10-inch squares. I took the second fabric and I laid my first shape on top of it. So I have a whole bunch of stockings and lights and Christmas ornaments. That's what I chose for this quilt. Now you can do all the shapes if you want to. These are just the ones that I've chosen. Now all we're going to do is really sew our blocks together. Like, it's genuinely that simple. So a layer cake has 42 pieces. We've used 42 pieces for the background, 42 pieces for the applique. So our quilt is going to be 6 blocks wide and 7 blocks long. Now when I put my applique on there, I just took my piece of fabric, laid it on there, and straight stitched all the way around. Do you see that straight stitch? Now, it doesn't have any Wonder Under or Heat and Bond underneath it. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I actually think it's genius. It's just not part of my process. I just laid the fabric on and stitched it. If you want to put some kind of fusible, adhesive, something underneath it, perfectly fine too. And they tell me glue is amazing, a glue stick. One of my, and I keep seeing it online. I see what y'all see. I've not been brave enough to try it because I've gummed up my sewing machine needle one too many times with things like adhesive Velcro, and I'm kind of scared of it. But one of my sewing students at the last retreat was using glue, and I was watching her, so we are going to try that. We just haven't yet. But if you like the glue idea, or if you use glue, you can glue it down and then stitch over it. Now I just did mine with a straight stitch, which means when it washes, it will fray. I like the fray. If you don't like the fray, just zigzag over it. Perfectly fine. Easy, easy. And you can take this same exact quilt and make it a rag quilt. You can just put a solid piece on the back of it with some flannel in between, stitch it, and then rag all your edges, and you have the cutest Christmas rag quilt. What we're making today is a quilt top, but I think the quilt top is small enough you can quilt it on your domestic machine if you so choose. I do not quilt on my domestic machine because it makes me want to pull my hair out. It is not my best life. Some people love it. Absolutely love it, and there are great tutorials out there on how to do it. But first, let's get our quilt top put together. So I have a whole bunch of stockings, ornaments, and lights. So what I'm going to do is just pick up 2 pieces. Now I'm trying to make sure these 2 fabrics don't match. I don't even really care if these 2 are the same template. I would prefer it not be like this. Same fabric, same template, or like this, same fabric, same template, but I don't even mind this, okay? That's me. If you care what yours looks like, I want you to go lay it out and then pick it up and sew it. But I'm gonna sew all of mine 2 at a time. So I'm just gonna pick up the first one, lay it on top of the second one. I'm gonna line up this right side and I'm gonna sew right here with a straight stitch, a 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop, because my grandma said so. Okay, now this is what we have. I'm gonna sew the rest of mine together into twos, just like this. If you've ever wanted to try applique, but it's intimidating, this is a great option for you because it's super simple and you can do every other block applique. It doesn't have to be every single block, or you can do all of them like me. And you could make the quilt small for a baby or a child, or you could make it big. You could make it a throw size like what I'm making, or you could make it even larger for a bed. The options really are endless. And when I first started quilting, I wasn't following a pattern. Well, let's be honest, I'm not really following a pattern now. And so I was taught to lay a sheet down and fill the sheet up with my blocks. And when the sheet was full, I was done. So if I needed more blocks, I just sewed more blocks. And that really is the beauty of quilting. You get to decide what you want and you get to make it how you want. I'm just showing you what I do, but you do what works for you. You do what you like and what you enjoy, because at the end of the day, that's all this is supposed to be, is enjoyment. And if you can find joy in what you're making, then who cares about the rest? Okay, now I'm gonna sew 7 sets of 4 together because I need it to be 6 wide and 4 long. And so I'm only gonna sew 7 sets of 4, 6 wide and 7 long. Y'all, what am I doing? I'm only gonna sew 7 sets of 4 because I need the rest of them to go on the ends to make the 6s. If this is too confusing, just sew them in rows of 6s 7 times. I'm going to open up what I've just sewn. Lay one face up, lay the second one face down, and I'm going to sew down this side just like we did a second ago. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. Joy is the goal, because after you find joy in what you're creating, then the skills come. But if it's miserable from the beginning, you never get the skills, because it is awful to do something that you're not good at and that you don't like. So who cares if you're not great at it? Just keep pushing forward. As long as you enjoy what you're making, who cares if it's not perfect? I made so many things that I look back on now and think, man, I was so proud of that. And even as good as my skills are, I'm still proud of it because I was a beginner. Okay, so now I have 7 rows of 4. I'm going to take my remaining pieces that I've already sewn 2 together, and I'm going to sew those on the end of these rows. So then I'll have 7 rows of 6. Now, again, if this is too confusing, just lay it out and pick them up. I promise, don't make it over complicated. Just keep it simple in your mind and do what works for you. Nobody's the boss of you. There's not a right and wrong way to put it together. Just get it together. That's what we all want, is just to complete something, right? And we're going to sew this the same way. So give yourself some grace. Make the first stitch. Make the first project and the second and the third. And who cares if it's not perfect? Do not walk around saying, I messed up here, here, and here. Because guess what? If you don't tell people, they won't know. Your project doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. If it did, none of my loved ones would have anything meaningful, because I've never created a perfect project. Now we have 7 rows of 6. So what we're going to do is put these together. Yes, I should iron. No, I'm not going to. I will in a minute, but I'm just excited and it'll be fine. I promise. And you're a beginner and everybody's yelling at you, you need to iron. And I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I'm also not saying if you skip it and don't tell anybody, it'll be fine. So if y'all don't tell, I won't tell. I'm going to lay my 2 rows out. All right. Now they're directional. So this stocking goes up and this stocking goes up. We want to lay our 2 rows pretty side to pretty side, making sure the bottom of this row touches the top of this row. And we're going to sew down this side, straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. Now, when you get to a seam right here, whatever you have to do to make those seams match, pinch it, pleat it, or pull it. Just make sure they match, okay? Because if it gets off here a little bit, by the time you get to the end, you have one row that's 2 inches shorter than the other. Ask me how I know. And now you're almost finished. You're gonna sew your rows together, and then you're gonna hold it up and do a whole happy dance. Carry it around the house and show everybody that you live with what you made so they can brag on you. And when they brag, don't say, but I messed up here. You just say thank you. We've sewn the first 2 rows. Now we're just going to continue adding the rows just like that. We're going to open it up, iron if you want to. I'm not ironing. And then add the next row. You're just going to put it on there and lay it down pretty side to pretty side, making sure that this row is facing up and that the bottom of this row, since our designs are directional, that the bottom of this row is touching the top of this row. Sew down this side. We're going to do this until we have 7 rows connected. all the same way. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. And you're gonna get the straight seam by following the edge of your fabric with the edge of your presser foot. Stop looking at your needle. The reason my quilt is 6 squares wide and 7 squares long is because my stack of 10-inch squares came as 42. And 6 times 7 is 42. And then I could use 2 stacks of 10-inch squares, one for my appliques, one for my quilt blocks, and make an entire quilt. Now, if you wanted to make this a rag quilt, you would just get 3 packs of 10-inch squares. You would have 1 pack for the front, 1 pack for the back, and 1 pack for your appliques. And the reason I love a rag quilt, especially for beginners, is because you have something completely finished. You're not making the quilt top and then shipping it off to have it long-armed. You're doing it start to finish on your machine. And so if you want to make a traditional quilt top like what I'm doing, that's great. Or if you want the satisfaction of having something fully completed, just turn it into a rag quilt. Super easy too. And the beauty of sewing is there's so many different ways to do the same thing. Y'all teach me something every single day. As much as you think you learn from me, I learn more from you, I promise. And all of us doing things our own way is what is so inspiring about this community. I know that there are people that sew better than me. I know that there are people that teach better than me, but I don't think there's a person out there that enjoys sewing more than I do. That's what I thought for many, many years. And then I found y'all, and I realized there's a whole lot of people who love it as much as I do. Okay, we've sewn it all together. Now it's time to quilt it however we desire. You can quilt it on your domestic machine. You can send it off to your local long armor, or you can send it to Missouri Star Quilt Company. They would love to quilt it for you, or you could turn this into a rag quilt. But whatever you do, be sure you send photos to hometownquiltcompany@gmail.com because I want to see. Sew and Tell is my favorite. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.